Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Irwindale Speedway as we get ready to go with tonight's race here at Irwindale. Qualifying getting ready to happen at the Irwindale Inner Speedway. My name is Al Smith, Upstate Al, here from the Turn 3 Racing Network. And our first two cars coming out to the racetrack, it is the 61 of Franklin Evans and the number 2 of John DeMeester. DeMeester in car number 2. Here is a very tricky track here, Irwindale Inner. Very flat, tight corners. We're going to see a lot of tracks, or a lot of side-by-side, a lot of crossover moves, as Franklin Evans will go atop of the board so far with a 15.42. John DeMeester with a 16.22. So 15.42 for Franklin Evans in lap number 1. Lap number 2 is going to be a little bit quicker with a 15.39, 1539. And second lap for DeMeester will be a little bit quicker with a 15.82. So group number 1 into the books here tonight is group number 2 will roll on out to the speedway to be led by the number 00. This is Deontay Hewer in car number 00, and the 62 of Jeff Dillon. Jeff Dillon out on the racetrack is Deontay working through turns 3 and 4. It'll come up off. We put lap number 1 in the books, and Hewer is going to go to second quick overall with a new quick time, though. It's the 62 of Jeff Dillon with a 1502 for Jeff Dillon. He'll offset Franklin Evans from the pole. Deontay Hewer now going to go second quick now with a 15.38. So Jeff Dillon sits on your provisional pole as the next two drivers will roll on out of the speedway, and it is the number 3 of Donovan Carty in car number 3, and the driver out of Newfoundland, it is the 18 of Devin McDonald. So Devin McDonald and Donovan McCarty up onto the racetrack as they work through turns 1 and 2. A good look at this Irwindale Speedway. Normally we see it out on the big half mile, but tonight, well, we are going to use the inside line as Carty will go to number 2 on the board. Devin McDonald 5th, so we'll see if the number 3 can go a little bit quicker. Can he top the top of the speed charts? And he can not, but he goes a little bit quicker, 15.17 for the 3 of Carty's. Everybody's still chasing the 62 of Jeff Dillon. Next out on the racetrack, car number 31. This is Zach Coyer in car number 31. Rolling out onto the racetrack, and the 25 of Nick Fleury here in car number 25. Coyer going to roll down here to turn number 3. Let's go on board with this driver. So Zach Coyer, lap number 1 with 15.208 is good enough for third overall. The 25 of Fleury ran a 15.36. Here comes Coyer across the line, and he will go a little bit quicker. Still says third overall. Nick Fleury with a 15.10, so not quite fast enough. 15.02 is the current time for quick time. Next driver out onto the racetrack will be the number 38. This is David Patton and Ron Hart in car number 51. David Patton out of Indiana. He'll come across the line this time by as he comes off turn number 4. He will come across stripe, and 38 of Patton will go 5th overall. Here comes Ron Hart to complete his first lap. Hart going to roll across the line. He'll go third quick with a 15.11. 15.11 for the 51. David Patton will come across the line. He'll finish 6th in his qualifying effort. And Ron Hart comes across and will go a little bit slower on lap number 2. Next group getting ready to come out on the racetrack, and we'll see the 951 of Brian Wildasson and the 88 of Charles Darling. Charles Darling and car number 88 will be your next 2 vehicles to come out onto the racetrack. And we want to welcome everybody on in watching here tonight. We appreciate you. The drivers do as well. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for them. Let them know you appreciate their efforts here tonight. And what is going to be an exciting night of racing as Charles Darling will roll out onto the racetrack. The driver out of Saginaw, Michigan, with a dead short race car wearing a Fairgrove. Horsepower Happenings and Northside Towing, all proud sponsors of the number 88. Brian Wildasson not coming out on the racetrack, so track is all alone to the 88 of Charles Darling, and Darling going to go 7th quick on lap number 1 with a 1.533. 1.533. For Charles Darling. This time off a turn number 4. Darling going to come across the stripe and goes a little bit quicker, but will stay 7th quick with a 15.27. 15.27. Next out on the racetrack will be car number 71. This is Brett Hahn, last week's winner in car number 71. Hayden Swank in car number 35 as well. And I believe these 2 drivers will be our last 2 racers of qualifying. So 13 cars. It's going to take time, 14 in the session for your viewing pleasure here tonight. And they come off the corner. Brett Hahn going to go across. He'll go 2nd quick. Hayden Swank comes across. He'll be 5th overall. So we'll see if Brett Hahn, he will bail out. Hayden Swank on lap number 2. He'll spin to the apron. And that will end our qualifying session here tonight. And Jeff Dillon picking up the pole with a 15.02 for that drivers. They will pull in there. And just like that, qualifying is done. Let's take a look at tonight's program here tonight for the ASRC Scrambler Series at the Irwindale Speedway. We're using the inner track, which just is a 1/3 of a mile. Tonight's race, well, we just saw qualifying wrap up. We're going to have feature events coming at you. First one, 40 laps, heads up from qualifying. Then it'll be almost a full field invert, 12-car invert here for feature number 2. Remember, yellow flags do not count as they will. Well, the yellow flag comes out. They have some time to work on their cars, but we appreciate everybody coming on in here tonight and watching here at Irwindale Speedway. We hope you enjoyed tonight's race as the field getting their final instructions down on pit road. You can see 2 cars down there, Deontay Hewer and Franklin Evans. Let's take a look at the results from practice. As you saw, the cars come out in reverse order, and it was Hayden Swank who set fast time. You can see how close practice was here tonight. As qualifying will come to an end here. We've seen a lot of great racing over the last few months here, or the last few weeks. This is race number 5 for the series. As we get ready to go into qualifying here this evening. Into our first race of the new one. Next week, though, the series is going to be headed well, it is to the TC circuit. Dual 20-minute features next week on the road course. As we look at that, it will be the number 62 of Jeff Dillon on tonight's poll. And let's take a look at your starting lineup for this one. It'll be the 62 of Jeff Dillon on the pole. Outside of him will be the 71 of Brett Hahn. Nick Fleury and Ron Hart will make up row number 2 in the car number 25 and the 51. Starting on the inside of row number 3 will be Hayden Swank and Donovan Carty. Zach Coyer and David Patton will make up row number 4. Row number 5 will see the number 88 of Charles Darling and Deontay Hewer. Franklin Evans and Devin McDonald making up row number 6. And our last starter on the field will be the number 2 of John DeMeester. It'll be 13 cars strong here tonight for race number 1. 40 laps is the distance here as we go on board with your pole sitter. Looking back at the field, everybody's nerves, they're taking some deep breaths out there. Get ready to go. 40 laps going to go by in a flash here. And it will be something wild that we're about to see. So the cars will start to roll out onto the racetrack. Around here to get ready to go green flag racing. All 14 cars making it out there. Brian Wildassin, John DeMeester will start 13th and 14th. Here's we get ready to go for feature number 1. Pace truck should pull off the racetrack this time. It starts to speed up, leaving the field in the hands of Jeff Dillon. As the green flag is about to fly, it comes out and we are underway. Down in the turn number 1 they go. Dillon to the inside. Here comes Brett Hahn to the outside. He'll tuck it back in line. And I do believe you're going to want to be on that inside lane if you're going to make some progress. Out here is lap number 1 already into the books, and we've got the 51 of Ron Hart who is trying to get in there. So the first 4 or 5 cars get single file. Now David Patton working 3 wide down in the turn number 3. Patton way up on the no man's land. Zach Coyer gets a little bit loose, a little bit of bumper tag as it is rush hour traffic here at Irwindale. A lot of paint swapping going on here as the top 4 cars start to break away as we keep an eye on it back here. Evans gets a little touch by the 18 of McDonald. Hang on to it. Carty up the racetrack. He will go. Jeff Dillon still showing the way as they are still side by side back here. Franklin Evans just getting out of there, but Coyer stuck to the outside. He's got the 38 of David Patton coming, so that one little miscue gonna hurt Zach Coyer. Coyer unable to get down. The 38 gonna fill that hole as they all run single file so far around the racetrack. We go high above the racetrack now, seeing the single file action as the camera will focus back up front. Jeff Dillon showing the way. Already 6 laps gone. Is now Ron Hart gonna slide underneath the 71 of Brett Hahn. Hahn missing the corner. Got a little bit wide. He'll fall back to 3rd. So Jeff Dillon out on the front of this one. Ron Hart up to 2nd. Brett Hahn back to 3rd. Nick Fleury started 3rd. He runs 4th. 5th spot is the 35 of Swank. That'll round out your top 5. Charles Darling in the 88 runs 6th. 7th spot is Evans. Wildassin is up to up to the 8th spot. He's your hard charger, up 6 spots so far in that 951. The 951 working underneath now. The 61 of Evans. You see a low Hang on, maybe a little bit of contact there. Not quite. Oh, hang on to it. Get a little bit sideways. Contact with Evans. Evans is going to go around. Hang on to it. Franklin Evans spins off of turn number 2, and so far we stay green. As Franklin Evans going to get going, but he'll be down 1 lap to the race leaders after contact there with the 951 of Wildassin. Devin McDonald working underneath them as they come out the corner. Some more smoke around the racetrack there. Someone was spun. Missed out who that was. A lot of action around the racetrack back here. Is now Wildassin starting to move back forward. He's got the 61 of Evans closing in there. Evans going to slide it a little bit sideways through turns 3 and 4. Got those tires hot, but a new fast lap last time by was set by Nick Fleury as we close in on the halfway point of feature number 1. So we are on board with your race leader of Jeff Dillon. See him working that wheel back and forth. I tell you, Ron Hart right there is starting to put the pressure to him. As we are just 4 laps from the halfway point of this first feature. 40 laps is the distance, and this one going by in a blink of an eye. As Franklin Evans pulls the 61 into the pit road. Change for your race lead as Ron Hart now goes to the point. So Jeff Dillon leading the first 16 laps of this race. Now falls back to the second. Here comes Brett Hahn. Hahn going to put the pressure to him. Gets a good run up off the turn number 2 and into the inside. He'll take that spot away. So Hahn now back to spot number 2, right where he started this feature. Nick Fleury runs in the 4th spot. Swank is 5th. Let's go back a little bit further in the field. Hayden Swank runs in that 6th spot. Then you got a 7th battle for 7th starting to show. Is Zach Coyer starting to make his way towards the front in that number 31. Started in the 7th position now as we cross the stripe just past halfway. As Coyer will take the 6th spot away and look to chase down Swank. Devin McDonald right there behind them as well, trying to make some moves on the 88 of Charles Darling. A little bit of bumper tag there, trying to get him up the racetrack, get a little bit loose. Can't quite do anything with him. As Hart has opened up about a half-second lead up at the front of this one. No changes there. Deontay Hewer runs in the 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is the 951 of Brian Wildalson. 1 spot outside of a top 10 is the 38 of David Patton, and John DeMeister runs in 12th, that final invert spot. Donovan Carty trying to pedal as fast as he can to get up there. He's got about a second to make up as the race leaders now in lap traffic. Ron Hart going to cut underneath the 3 of Carty to try to put him down a lap here with just 15 laps to go. It'll make it 14 to go here at the stripe right there. 14 laps to go for the driver of the 51 of Ron Hart. As he works to the inside of the Meester up the racetrack. Here's a chance for Carty to maybe get inside that top 12. Can't quite do anything with him. Back on board with Ron Hart as he works down the back stretch. You can see the 71 of Brett Hahn trying to find a way around him. Can't quite get there. Ron Hart doing a really good job up off the corner. Is this time by from our high five flagman. He'll get the double high five. 10 to go. Hart keeping that lead just at about a half second. And then you got to go back a little ways to get to your third place driver. That's the 25 of Nick Fleury. Jeff Dillon runs in fourth. He's under pressure from Swank. Swank is chased down. Dillon is for the battle for the fourth position. Right there on your screen. Swank down to the inside. He'll take that spot away from Dillon for the time being. Can he make it stick off the corner? He will do so. So now move the number 35 of Hayden Swank to the fourth position. Meanwhile, Ron Hart still leads it. Nick Fleury trying to get into this one, but he'll have to settle for a third place finish so far. Unless he can make something happen. He's making the car very wide, trying to get it wound up. And he seems to be losing some time to your race leader. Hayden Swank runs in fourth. Fifth spot is Jeff Dillon with 5 laps to go. Zach Coyer now up to the 6th position. 7th is Charles Darling. 8th is McDonald. Hewitt and Pat in your top 10. Four to go for the 51 of Hart. Brett Hahn runs there in spot number 2. This time by the popsicle sticks will be up 2 laps to go. It'll be 2 laps to go this time at the stripe. Off of turn number 4, it'll be the ASRC 1 lap to go here in feature number 1. And what has been a very quick feature. Ron Hart going to come off the corner. He'll come off of turn number 4. Checkered flag is up, and Ron Hart will pick up the win as he slides to the infield. Brett Hahn will finish second. Nick Fleury was third. Fourth will go to Hayden Swank. Fifth is Jeff Dillon, Zach Coyer, Charles Darling, Devin McDonald will finish in 8th. Wildassen and Hewer rounding out your top 10. And just like that, the field's going to go into a little bit of a warm-up period. We're going to step away one moment. We'll be right back with your race winner. You are watching the ASRC Scrambler Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to Irwindale Speedway, where the lights have been flicked on, and we're down here in Victory Lane with our Feature 1 winner. And that was none other than the 51 of Ron Hart. And Ron, man, you made Feature 1 kind of look like your playground out there. Track looked a little bit slick, a little bit hot. It looked like a lot of fun, but you're able to manage your tires and get to the front.
Yeah, I like this place out. This is a good track for us. Smaller the better in my book. So happy to come back here and put it in Victory Lane.
How difficult is the Irwindale Inner? It's not a track that we normally see out here on the racing service, out here. But it seems to be fitting you guys pretty good. Put on a very good show. Green the checkered in feature number 1. A very quick 40 laps. What can you expect, and what did you learn here for feature number 2?
Yeah, I got to go through traffic a little bit, start a 4th there, so learned a little bit how to pass them, and just really got to be smooth here. You can easily slide the tires, get them hot, overheat them. You just got to be smooth. So I'll try to do that again and get back through them all.
All right, we know they're calling you to the grid here. We'll let you get down there for feature number 2. Good luck coming from 12th.
Thanks, Al.
Here you go. That is your race 1 winner, Ron Hart, in car number 51. And he has made it to the grid. As we get ready to go, let's take a look at your starting lineup here for feature number 2, excuse me. And it will be car number 3, Donovan Carney on the pole. Outside of him will be car number 38. This is David Patton. Deontay Hewer and Brian Wildanson will roll off in row number 2. Devin McDonald and Charles Darling in row number 3. Zach Coyer and Jeff Dillon in row number 4. And rounding out your first 5 rows, it'll be Hayden Swank and Nick Fleury. Your remaining starting grid will be John DeMeester in spot number 13. Franklin Evans in 14th. Brett Hahn and your race winner Ron Hart will start 11th and 12th. As we missed them, we apologize for that. As we get ready to go here in feature number 2. And what should be a very good race here. As we get ready to go, green flag racing here in feature number 2. Another 40 laps on the charts. Who is it going to be? Green flag is out. Race number 2 underway, and it is Cardi jumping out to the early race lead. Looked like Zach Coyer missed the start, and he'll roll from pit road. Side by side, David Patton working the outside. You're going to wonder if the outside will come in underneath the lights here at the Irwindale Speedway as they really work down low. Great camera work, crew getting there back in this one. And we want to thank our friend Brett Hahn, our colleague here at Turn 3 Racing Network, for supplying us with some new camera angles here for feature number 2. Got the boys all teamed up here, putting on what is a good show for you. Donovan Carney showing the way. Will dancing all the way up to second now. Here comes Swink down to the inside. Hayden Swink taking a peek underneath the number 00 of Hewer. And just like that, Brett Hahn already starting to close up through the field. He's all the way into that 5th position. So Brett Hahn working up through the racing ranks as they work off the corner. Oh, hang on to it. The 00 is getting sideways down to the infield. Hang on to it. Hewer yellow flag. The first one of the night going to come out for the 00, Deontay Hewer. So yellow flag number 1 going to come out, and I'm not sure if there was contact or not. Let's take a peek here. Look from the blimp. Hickory on the outside comes down. Oh, just slight contact maybe from the 71 of Brett Hahn. Got loose, almost had it saved and had to lock it up to jump onto the brake pads. As we come back to live pictures. I believe that will put the 31 of Zach Coyer, get him the lucky dog. So Zach Coyer missing the start of the race. Had the start from pit road, and this yellow flag going to save the 31 of Coyer. As Deontay Hickory and Brett Hahn will tag up at the rear of the field. Brett Hahn getting an EOL for his partaking of that yellow flag. A beautiful sunset here at the Irwindale Speedway. A packed house. Couldn't pack another person into the grandstands. And it has been like that all season long here for the ASRC Scrambler Series. Race number 5. And next week, well, we will head to road course. See the pace truck getting out of harm's way. Green flag is up in the air. We are underway down here in the turn number 1. Cardi going to show the way with Assen on the outside. Charles Darling going to spin to the infield. Charles Darling down low. We'll see if the yellow flag will fly. So far, not yet. There's now Swank trying to get that second position away from Wildassen. Wildassen working the outside. Here comes the feature 1 winner, Ron Hart. Can he get the broom out tonight and sweep both features? Oh, hang on to it, Hart. He gets tagged from behind. Around he will go. And just like that, the yellow flag will fly. Oh boy, I am out there cursing the drivers. They will be cursing me after the race. Let's take a look and see what happened here to Ron Hart as he brought out the yellow flag. The one driver that is happy to see this yellow flag is the 88 of Charles Darling. That'll let him get back up here. But let's see what happened to Ron Hart from high above from our blimp cam. Gets down in the corner. Oh, and looks like the 18 maybe just taps him in that right rear. Devin McDonald. Let's take a look and see what happened from his point of view. You can see immediately. So McDonald and Hart will tag the back of the field as the field doubles up. It looks like we're going to be going back green flag racing next time by. Race leader is the number 3 of Donovan McCarty. McCarty in the 3. Gets into the restart zone. Green flag is back out. We're back underway. So feature number 1 going checkered or green to checkered. Now this one's been slowed for the second time. And they are still running side by side. Oh, contact. David Patton getting into the side of the 951. No harm, no foul. Just trading a little bit of paint. We expect that here on the short tracks. Cardi down low. Hayden Swank runs in spot number 2. Trying to find a way around your race leader. Oh, hang on to it. Cardi got a little bit sideways. That stacks the field up. Now Swank down to the inside. Can Cardi hold on to it? He gets loose once again. Side by side battle up off the corner in the turn number 3. 2 by 2. Let's stack them up. Let's make it 3 rows deep now. 2 by 2. Cardi outside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Great action up here. Oh, well, Dassin gets into the backside and Cardi hard into the outside wall. Yellow, 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 and the front bumper torn off the front of the 3 of Cardi, who got loose on the entrance of turn number 1. And I don't believe Wildassin had anywhere to go. Let's take a look and see what happened. Contact between Swank, gets him loose, then in the corner, and then Wildassin just into the back and overcorrects in a hard lick. Let's watch that from one more point of view. Let's go on board. Oh, hard lick for the driver out of Minnesota. Who sits on pit road right now, getting the damage fixed as much as you can. Remember, doing the caution lap's not counting. You do not lose laps underneath this yellow flag. And you can't place blame fully on Wildassin. You see the back end puckered up there. He got shoved trying to give him some space. But your new control car will be the 35 Hayden Swank. Green flag is up and we are back underway. Swank showing away David Patton out to the inside, trying to hold on to number 2. One couple more cars sideways. That's Franklin Evans towards the back of the pack. He gets it pointed in the right direction. We stay green. Ron Hart coming up through. He just gets by the 71 of Brett Hahn, who has rebounded inside the top 10. Good battle back here for up front here for the 3rd spot. No longer a battle. Jeff Dillon going to take that away. Dillon was fast in feature number 1, then faded in the late stages. Trying to make his way back towards the front. One car sideways again. That's Ron Hart. And the yellow flag will come out for our winner of feature number 1. Having a tough go of it here in feature number 2. As Hart will draw the caution for the 2nd time this evening. Racing side by side with Hewer, gets down into the corner. Oh, contact between the 00 of Hewer and Hart. Oh, Charles Darling going to get a piece of it. Some hard contact there for the 51. As we come back to live pictures. So Deontay Hewer getting sent to the rear for his take in that yellow flag. Cardi still on pit road. Tough break for the driver that started on the pole here in feature number 2. Finds himself down 4 laps currently. His damage still being fixed on the 3. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go back green flag racing this time. Off turn number 4, the pace truck will set the accelerator. Green flag is up, and Hayden Swank going to jump on the loud pedal first with 22 circuits remaining. Good start to the inside. Here comes Jeff Dillon. He's going to try to wrestle that number 2 spot away from David Patton. Wildassin down low as well to try to fill the void. So everybody's starting on the outside lane. Not the place to be. But David Patton doing a good job holding his own to the outside of Wildassin. Nick Fleury and Zach Coyer making their way up through the field now. Coyer up to 7th. Fleury cracking the top 5 for the first time here in feature number 2. As they try to go 3 wide behind your race leaders. Patton gives it back to 4th now under fire from Fleury. Fleury going to try to take that 4th position away. Can he make it happen this time up off of turn number 4? Fleury looking to take away that spot. Here comes Zach Coyer. Coyer trying to make it into the top 5. As David Patton and the 71 of Brett Hahn stuck to the outside, and they are falling backwards underneath this conveyor belt. Well, Dassin going to go sideways. One car spinning in the corner. It sounded like the motor might have passed. That was the 51 of Hart, and we stay green. Jeff Dillon's car getting extremely loose now. He's gone from second back to the 5th position in that number 62. Franklin Evans going to try to crawl underneath the 62 of Dillon, this time off of 4. 15 laps to go. Franklin Evans trying to rebound from the feature number 1. Did not go his way. Had the start in the back of this one. Now finds himself inside the top 10. Make it the top 5 now as he takes that spot away from Jeff Dillon. Brake rotor starting to glow on the race cars as the 71 of Brett Hahn now works underneath David Patton. Patton was stuck on that extreme outside and went backwards. Jeff Dillon gets free. Here comes Hahn underneath him. Meanwhile, up front, Swank has about a 0.4 of a second lead over the rest of the field. And you can now see Nick Fleury gets underneath Wildassin. Wildassin trying to run that extreme high side of the racetrack. Fleury will move on by the spot number 2. Zach Coyer coming up into that number 3 position. This time by, there'll be 10 laps to go for Hayden Swank. Swank doing a good job up on the front of this one as they come up on the lap traffic. That's the 2 of Demeester. And Demeester is very slow, letting the leaders by. And he will come down to pit road. So a tough break for the number 2. Hayden Swank still up front. Nick Fleury runs second. 3rd spot, Brian Wildassin. He's under fire from the number 31 of Zach Coyer. Coyer runs in spot 4, trying to get onto the podium here in feature number 2. Franklin Evans runs in spot 5. Brett Hahn trying to rebound to get inside the top 5. Meanwhile, Coyer takes a peek to the inside, gets the door slam shut on him. 6 to go. Oh, contact as Wildassin crosses him up and will move back by. Wildassin a little bit loose. More crossover move here as the battle for your 3rd spot rages on. Just 5 laps to go, and the battle for your race lead is a good one. Hayden Swank showing the way up off the corner. Down the front stretch he goes. Swank's got 4 more laps to hold off the short track ace, the 25 of Nick Fleury. Trying to get by Swank. Can he hold off Nick Fleury? Fleury tries to diamond up off the corner. Can't quite get the run on him that he needs. Swank going to make that back side of that 35 very wide. This time by 2 laps to go. The Rabbiteers are up. Can Swank hold on to pick up the win? Nick Fleury hungry for a victory here tonight at Irwindale. Fleury will swing it in high, tries to cut underneath low. Good that momentum. White flag is up. 1 more lap to go. Swank holding that yellow line. Fleury, one last ditch effort in the turns 3 and 4. Can he make anything happen? He is not going to get there. Off for turn number 4. It'll be the 35 of Swank picking up the win. Fleury will come home second. Coyer third. Wildassin, Evans rounding out your top 5. Hahn, Hewer, Dillon, Patton and McDonald will round out the cars left out onto the racetrack here. And your race winner, the number 35 of Hayden Swank, and he is going to burn it down here on the front stretch. Or at least attempt to. These cars very low horsepower. As he will try to burn it down here, and we'll go right into our post-race show. And get a word with some of these racers. We're going to bring them here. So we got the number 31 of Zach Coyer that we need to talk to. Nick Fleury as well. Nick Fleury going to come on down here as everybody starts to get unbuckled from the race cars. And Hayden Swank, we need to get the race winner here. What kind of post-race show would that be without the driver of your race winner? So they're down here on victory lane. Let's bring them in as he climbs out of the race car. Car number 35. This is Hayden Swank, tonight's feature 2 winner. And Hayden, I don't know if you were worried or not, but Nick Fleury was all over the back of you. How'd you hold him off there for the last 5-10 laps?
Well, I guess I learned my lesson from last week. I'm not gonna lie, that was definitely going through my head those last 10 laps. I was like, oh, not again. He definitely had something figured out, either saved his tires, but he was coming in a hurry. But luckily, I was able to kind of find a rhythm those last 5 or so laps and hold him off. So definitely excited to pull this one out.
Talk about how difficult this racetrack is. Usually, we see a lot of racing done on the big track, but tonight, using the 3rd mile on the infield, a lot less banking, the track looking very racy though. A lot of good racing we saw here tonight. How much fun was running the inner track? Something a little bit different that Tanner threw at you guys.
Yeah, so the big track's always obviously one of my favorites on the whole surface, but this one actually surprised me. I think it was a lot of fun. You definitely had to just wheel it. You know what I mean? Sometimes there wasn't a whole lot of finesse. You just had to wheel, kind of really get on the wheel and get after it. But I was really happy with how the racing product turned out. Kind of wish I caught at least one caution in that first race, but overall it was a good night.
You're going to leave here next week. We're going to turn left and right. How's the road racing skills, and what's your outlook for the racing next week?
Survive. I think that's got to be the goal for next week, is just to survive. I don't do a whole lot of road racing on here, but hopefully we can make something happen. You never know.
Hey, well, congratulations on picking up the win here tonight in feature number 2. You're going to join Ron Hart for picking up wins here at Irwindale. Who makes it all possible for this number 35?
Yeah, I want to thank Epic Insurance, brokers and consultants. Always a huge thanks to them for supporting my career. And I also just want to give a shout out to the ASRC. They've been putting on some incredible shows all season long, and these past few weeks the driving corps has really showed up, and we've had some of our best races I think this series has ever had. So always a lot of fun to come out here and race every Tuesday and Wednesday night.
Well, go enjoy this one. We hope to talk to you next week as we had road racing for the first time this season. But congratulations on picking up the win here tonight, Hayden.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
There you go. Tonight's feature winner, the number 35 of Hayden Swank, and that will mean that we're just going to come down a little bit to the left here, and Nick Fleury was all over the backside of that 35 of Swank. Nick, a great run. Started 10th, got yourself all the way up to 2nd. What else did you need out of this 25 to end up one spot better on the podium?
Maybe about 5 to 10 more laps, so I didn't have to push as hard as I did in those last 2 laps. It was coming to me, but in the end, I just didn't quite have enough time to get there.
It looked like a lot of fun out there. We were just talking with Hayden about how much fun this track really is. We usually see the big half mile being used in there, but the admins and Tanner here for this Scrambler Series putting you guys on this little 3rd mile of a racetrack, and it really did not disappoint. A really good show here tonight. A lot of good racing. what's your feedback for running on the small track here tonight?
Oh, it's an amazing track with this car. Fundamentally, it forces you to drive and not destroy your tires, but you also have to figure out how to finesse the wheel just right to be smooth, but to be quick still. So it's a good one that rewards a driver with talent, and that's all you can hope for.
It definitely shows that a lot of comers and goers here didn't realize how much tires were going to be important here. But next week, well, you got to keep all 4 tires on the pavement. We go road racing for the first time this season in round number 6. What's it going to take to get this 25 onto the podium next week on the road race? And how is your road racing skills?
I like to say that I'm pretty good at road racing. I mean, I'm definitely not going to say I'm going to go win, but I think I could be in the top 5. I really enjoy it. I especially enjoy the track. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Should be a good time next week. But hey, go celebrate this one. Enjoy your podium finish. Congratulations. Who makes it all possible for you in this team?
Yeah, as always, my Lord and Savior, my beautiful wife, my teammates at REG Racing, my sponsor, CPM Incorporated, and thank you to you guys here at Turn 3. We really appreciate what you do every week.
Well, we appreciate the kind words, Nick, and we hope to be talking to you in 1 week's time. Enjoy this one, bud. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you on the racetrack soon.
Thank you so much.
There you go, Nick Fleury picking up your number 2 spot here tonight. And that'll bring us, well, to mid-pack Coyer. And we bring in the mid-pack Coyer that almost missed this race. Did they lock you in the Porta-John at the start of this, or what happened, Zach?
My crew chief said he drank all the beer, so I had to go back there and check on that. And thankfully, he got me out there and got me back going. But yeah, it was a rough one to start out with.
Yeah, you had to come. You were down 1 lap. The yellow flag comes out early. You get back on the lead lap. How did you work yourself through the field to get back into a podium position here on what's a track that put on a lot of good racing, and it seemed like a little bit of a challenge to pass? You had to really mind your P's and Q's, or maybe use that chrome horn a little bit as well.
Yeah, I like to consider myself a short track specialist, so anytime we go to a short track, I got pretty good confidence. I knew once I got on the lead lap that watching these guys come off the corner, they kept getting wider and wider, and I knew if I used my brake a little bit, I'd be able to cut them off on the inside, which I did a couple of times. Then a couple of times, this is just short track racing where you just got to get rough sometimes. I hate to do it like that, but I also want to give a shout out to Brian. That was amazing racing in 3rd place there, what we were doing. A lot of fun.
Yeah, we saw a lot of crossovers there, a little bit of paint swapping back and forth. Good thing there's just different shades of blue there between the 2 cars. So it should buff out pretty easily. But how much fun was this Irwindale Inner track for you guys out there tonight? You guys put on an amazing show once again. Not that we weren't expecting that, because every week you guys do an amazing job as a core. But how much fun was it running this little bull ring of a track here tonight?
Man, I can't rave enough about this league. There's some amazing drivers in this league, and you just have fun with everybody. You know you can give it everything you got and still have somewhat of a clean race. But like I said, I look forward to these things, so I've been looking forward to this one all week, and I knew once I get out there it'd be a blast and just put my mind to it. And I'm back up here to talk to you again.
Yeah, 3rd place finish here once again, so you can't shake a stick at that one. Don't shake the beer and open it around me, though. I don't need a beer bath tonight, okay?
Oh, there's no fun in that. Gotta get a little bit going.
Hey, you talk about yourself being a short track specialist. How's the road course skills in this 31 going to be for next week?
Well, that's what scares me. I saw that on the schedule, and I've ran maybe the Texas road course and maybe one other in a street stock, and I did pretty decent at the Texas road course. So I'll definitely look forward for the set and then see what I can do next week. It'll be something new, that's for sure.
Well, congratulations on a hard-fought 3rd place finish here in feature number 2, Zach. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Who makes it all possible for this 31 car to be here on the podium?
I got to give a shout out to my teammates, Matt Vade, Jeff Dillon, Justin Blackgear, all of them, and Tanner for putting on a great league, and you guys up in the booth for making it always possible that I can go back and watch my mistakes on Wednesday.
Well, congratulations here. Don't touch those front rotors. They were glowing a little bit at the end of this one. You could maybe cook some popcorn or something off of them.
Hey, I'll take it, man. I could use some after that.
Congratulations, Zach. We'll talk to you hopefully next week. We'll keep an eye on you. Make sure you keep all 4 tires on the road and don't go too off-road too much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Always good to hear your voice.
There you go. That is the driver of the number 31, Zach Coyer, who rounds out your podium. And let's take a look here at the results from feature number 2. And we just talked to the top 3. Hayden Swank holding off Nick Fleury for the win. Zach Coyer with a rally of a run to finish 3rd. Brian Wildasson will come home 4th. Franklin Evans 5th. Brett Hahn 6th. Deontay Hewer 7th. Jeff Dillon, David Patton, and Devin McDonald rounding out your top 10. John DeMeester, Ron Hart, Charles Darling, and Donovan Carty will round out your 14-car fields. A tip of the cap to our race control admin, whatever you want to call him, Tanner Tallarico, is providing some great racing on some great tracks with this series week in and week out. Let's take a look at our feature number 1 results, where it was Ron Hart picking up the win over Brett Hahn and Nick Fleury. Hayden Swank, Jeff Dillon rounding out your top 5. Zach Coyer, Charles Darling, Devin McDonald, Brian Wildasson, and Deontay Hewer finishing in the top 10. David Patton, Donovan Carty, John DeMeester, and Franklin Evans rounding out your field. Well, just like that, we are headed road racing in 1 week's time. We hope that you will join us there. We hope you like tonight's broadcast. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let these drivers know that you appreciate their efforts, and we look forward to seeing you next week in Turn 3. Until then, everybody keep it wheels down, and we'll see you in Turn 3.